Hey guys, Dr. J here. In the previous episode, we completed World 2-1, defeated the Armored Spider and unlocked the second blacksmith in the game. We also got a very useful weapon, the Crisp Blade. When dual wielding it with a catalyst, it increases the power of our spells. Today, we'll continue exploring World 2. To be honest, this next level is not one of my favorites. And it's not because of the level design, though it is sometimes a bit confusing. It's mainly because of the enemies there. They just take so long to kill. On the other hand, none of them are particularly threatening, and there's almost no risk of us dying. Let's start off by killing a couple of miners. Unlike the previous level, most if not all of them are hostile. I'm killing them now mostly because I don't want them to bother us when we go after the crystal lizard. Okay, now let's carefully approach it, and when we lock onto it, we can kill it with the saw arrow. There is a mining cart coming from the left. It's actually a trap. There's something like a proximity mine on top of it. We need to trigger it and then run away. After it explodes, we can loot the crystal lizard. There are two tunnels we can take from this room. We'll first go down the left one. We should keep running, since there are a couple more trapped mining carts moving towards us. Eventually, we'll reach another large room with a lift at the center. Inside, there's also a fat official we should take care of. There's nothing special about him. We should just use the usual tactic and strafe his attacks while hitting him with our saw arrow spell. Good, now let's loot him, and before using the lift, let's pick up an item over here and then go through the doorway. The Ogit of Guidance is a consumable item. If you use it, it will leave a small stone on the ground that emits light. It's similar to the Prism Stone in Dark Souls. While going through these fossils, we should be careful not to get attacked by this miner. It's only this one, and it's unlikely he'll hit you before you see him, but he does appear kinda out of nowhere, so he might startle you. Now that we're out in this open area, we can grab the item on the ledge, and when we do so, we immediately get ambushed by a rockworm. It's something that's going to happen fairly often. Fortunately, the rockworms are very easy to deal with. The only thing we need to worry about is not getting into melee range of them. Their fire spewing deals quite a lot of damage. There's also a crystal lizard here. In fact, there are quite a lot of crystal lizards in this level. I'm pretty sure it has the largest amount in the entire game. Okay, that wasted quite a lot of MP, but it's better to kill them if we can. Even though we are going to be duping the upgrade materials, we still need at least one unit of every type. Anyway, there's one more item here, and there's also another rockworm we need to kill. I should mention that the rockworms have two lock-on points, one on the body and one on the head. We're only interested in aiming for the head. If we manage to hit it, we'll deal a large amount of damage and one-shot it. The issue is that while spewing fire, their head moves quite a lot, so our saw arrow can easily miss them. We've used up quite a lot of MP and we haven't even gotten to the tankier enemies, so I'll stand here for a while and restore our MP. I'll probably do a jump cut, so I don't waste your time. Okay, we're back to almost full MP and can finally go grab the last item in this area. Actually, there were two items, but both of them are just upgrade materials. Okay, let's go back to the previous room and use the lift. By the way, this level is called the Tunnel City. We won't be exploring the entirety of it before reaching the boss. We'll see most of it, but there are a few important things we'll need to do during a revisit. It's not strictly necessary, we could do everything in one go, but we'll probably have issues with our item burden if we try to carry every item in this level. There are a couple of crystal lizards at the bottom of this shaft. They'll start running away once we get near them, so we should be prepared to chase after them. It's unlikely we'll be able to get both of them, but we should try to kill at least one of them. Well, we hit the wrong crystal lizard, but it doesn't matter too much, it just means we've wasted a bit of MP. To compensate, I guess I'll finish it off with the Crisp Blade. There is a good reason I'm trying to save our MP. At the end of this tunnel, there is a cave full of crystal lizards. Guarding them are a couple of black phantoms. I won't bother with the crystal lizards right now, since I'll probably miss most of them anyway. I do want to kill the black phantoms though. They're very easy to kill and are worth quite a lot of souls. All we need to do is carefully approach the pair so that we aggro just one of them and then run back a bit. Once he gets in range of the lock-on, we can start spamming our soul arrow and slowly going back. Most of the time he'll keep running at us, trying to reach us, but occasionally he may start strafing. In those cases, we can either stop casting spells for a bit, or try approaching him until he starts attacking us. It's mostly worth killing them because of the souls. They don't drop anything particularly useful. Now we can repeat the process with the other one. We don't have to worry about running back, we just wait until he's in range and start spamming our spells. He keeps strafing. Well, if we're close enough, our soul arrow will still hit him, even if he keeps strafing. Okay, perfect. It really didn't take too long to kill them, and we got more than 2000 souls because of it. We can now return to the lift and then continue through the other tunnel. Oh, and maybe I should rearrange my quick use slots a bit. Let's get the old spice prepared, as well as have another healing item slotted. Good, we can continue now. This next part of the level starts to get a bit confusing. First, we'll have a small maze of tunnels. It's nothing too difficult to navigate, but there will occasionally be some floating mines that are very difficult to avoid. Here's one of them. Just try to trigger it and then run away. Obviously it didn't trigger, so let's try again. One more time. Damn. Well, if you fail like I did, don't worry about it and just heal up. None of them will be able to insta-kill you, so it's no big deal even if you do get hit. As we go through this tunnel, we'll eventually reach a scale miner. Once we kill him, we can turn left into the tunnel he came from and pick up a few items. The items are near the pit we could see to the left shortly after we entered the tunnel from the lift room. They're just some upgrade materials, and after we get them, we can go back to the previous tunnel and continue running for quite a bit until we reach a fog gate. Here it is. After we go through it, we'll enter another huge open area. To the left, we'll immediately see a giant bear bug and a human waving at us. We'll ignore them for a moment and go right, where we will encounter a normal bear bug. They're quite tanky, and we'll need 4 casts of soul arrow to kill each of them, but they'll give us a good amount of souls, so it's worth killing all we come across. They only have 2 types of attack. They can either use a thrust attack with their needle-like appendage, kinda like the xenomorphs from Alien, or they can jump towards us and try to hit us with their body. Neither of those attacks is particularly threatening, so it's unlikely we'll take any damage from them. The only issue is having enough MP, so I'll occasionally have to take an MP break. But again, even though it's a bit annoying, they're very much worth killing. These large bear bugs have the exact same attack pattern. They just have more health and are worth more souls. That was the jump attack. He probably wouldn't have been able to reach us, but it would have placed us in range of his melee attacks, which is why I dodge rolled. Oh, and I forgot to tell you about that. When a large or giant bear bug dies, it will explode. It takes quite a bit of time from the moment it dies until the explosion happens, so it's very easy to avoid it. Since we're out of MP, I'll use the scimitar to kill this bear bug. It will take a while, but this is the last one in the immediate vicinity, and there are a few items we can collect before taking an MP break. Wow, that's really taking a while. I'll probably have to fast forward this part. Okay, I don't want to ever do this again. Also, I probably should have been using the Crisp Blade instead of the Scimitar, since it has magic scaling. Anyway, let's go up this ramp now and pick up another item. The Great Axe requires 26 strength to wield it one-handed and 18 when two-handing it. Compared to the Crescent Axe, it only does slightly more damage, so I don't believe it's a particularly good weapon, but at least it's not a random drop, I guess. Let's go over here to pick up another item, and again get ambushed by a rockworm. Okay, nice. I managed to hit his head the first try. Now let's deal with this giant bear bug. He's distracted by the human NPC downstairs, so we can just keep attacking him with the crisp blade, and he won't move or try to attack us. By the way, since we'll be skipping his dialogue, I guess I'll have to introduce him to you. His name is Patches the Hyena. As you can imagine, someone with this kind of name is not really a good person. If we talk to him before killing this bear bug, he tried to get us to pick up the item below the bear bug, which would cause the monster to drop down and start attacking us. He would do that, hoping the monster will kill us, so he can then loot our stuff. If we had fallen for his trap and then managed to kill the bear bug, he'd just apologize and say it was all a misunderstanding. He is a bastard, but he does have his uses. Now that we've met him and dealt with this monster, he'll appear in the Nexus as a vendor. And he does have some very nice items on offer. He also sells additional rare items, depending on how many worlds we have fully completed. So yeah, it's very much worth it unlocking him soon. That being said, in this walkthrough, I don't think I'll ever be buying anything from him. Okay, killing this bear bug is taking quite a while, but at least it gave me an opportunity to talk about Patches. It's nearly dead, so we should get ready to run as far away from here as possible. Actually, just to be absolutely sure we don't get hit, let's use a saw arrow to finish it off. I'm not using the lock-on because the railings will obscure the lock-on target and our spell won't hit it. The explosion will hurt Patches quite a bit, but won't kill him. I guess this is a good punishment for him. Before we go talk to him, let's loot the remains of the bear bug and grab an item that was near it. The Ring of Flame Resistance increases our, you guessed it, flame resistance. More precisely, it increases it by 40 points. And it does stack with the Water Veil spell we can buy from a vendor in the Nexus. So now we can get an extremely high fire resistance if we want to. There are a couple more items on this level. The first is an itemized saw. The second one is over there behind a minecart. It is another upgrade material. Okay, we're done here. Let's go back and drop down from the ledge where the giant bear bug was standing and pick up the item Patches wanted to use as a bait. Here it is. It's a club. It doesn't sound like it's particularly valuable, but we can use a boss demon saw to upgrade it into one of the most powerful weapons in the game. Because we managed to outsmart Patches, he won't say anything else to us, so we can break the crates behind him and go down this ramp. There are a couple more items we can collect here. There really isn't that much fighting in this level. The first item is over here near this minecart. It's another itemized saw. The other one is guarded by a large bear bug, and since the path is pretty narrow and I won't be able to go behind it, I'll have no choice but to kill it with our saw arrow. Which means I'll probably fast forward this fight. Okay, it's dead. Now let's run away and wait for the explosion. We can now go back, check its remains for loot, and grab the item it was guarding. Looks like it didn't leave any loot, but the item was another upgrade material. Let's go back to Patches now. We returned here in a bit, but first we should go and kill a few flying bear bugs. It's better to do it now, since we'll have the high ground. Here they are. It only takes 3 casts of saw arrow to kill them. I think we'll have enough MP for both of them. After we kill them, I'll take another mana break. Good. Okay, we'll probably do another jump cut now. This should be enough. Let's continue down the ramp. And we got ambushed by some more rockworms. Let's kill them. Damn, I'm missing quite a lot of shots. It doesn't matter all that much, but we'll probably have to make at least one more mana break before reaching the boss. We got another upgrade material from here, and we can go ahead and loot the rockworms. I also did a quick check to see how's our item burden. We can still carry a bit more, but eventually we'll probably have to equip the Ring of Herculean Strength. Let's try to carefully approach the Crystal Lizard. It's much easier to do it from the other side of this path, but I wanted to try and see if I can get him from here as well. Looks like we managed to catch it. Wait, what? Why did it disappear? I don't get it. Anyway, let's go back to where we got the previous two items, down the ramp near Patches. Okay, this is the wrong way. In order to get the next item, we'll have to slide down a slope. If we drop down from here, we should be able to reach it. It's not as difficult to make it as it may seem, but there's still a chance to die here. The Dark Heater Shield +2 is very much worth the risk though.
Remember me? I've got plenty of wares, so bring me plenty of souls.
And here's this world's merchant again. He still doesn't have anything particularly valuable to offer.
Well, alright then. Come back when you actually need something.
Okay, now that we've picked up the Dark Heater Shield, we are very close to our item burden cap, so I had to equip the Ring of Herculean Strength. The Crystal Lizard was up the right path, and if we had approached it from here, we probably would have been able to kill it, but ah well. A few flying bugbears have started ascending from the lava below us. We can't ignore them, they're too slow to catch up to us, but as I keep saying, they're worth a good amount of souls and are very easy to kill. I mean, I just got hit by one of them, but their melee attack doesn't do too much damage and we can just heal if we get hit. The only thing that's slightly annoying is these railings. We'll have to aim for a spot where they're missing so they don't block our spells. Okay, nice, only 3 left. One of them fell down. He tried to land on the edge, but instead he just slided down to the bottom of the pit. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it died, since we didn't get any souls. We have another rockworm ambush here. Man, I'm really missing these headshots. It's incredibly frustrating. We can continue going down this path, and there will be another rockworm here. Well, at least I missed only once this time. There is another itemized soul over here, and we've reached the second fog gate in this level. But first, we'll have to kill this rockworm, of course. Well, finally got a headshot first try. It was about time. We can now roll over these fossils and enter the fog gate. Actually, maybe I should first take an MP break. We're almost out of mana. Okay, we're ready to go through the gate. This next section of tunnels is another maze, and this time it's a bit more difficult to navigate. On the first fork, we should take the right path, which will lead us to a dead end and an item. After we pick up the itemized soul, we can continue going straight ahead until we reach a giant bear bug blocking the way. We don't really have to fight it, we can just lure it into the tunnel we came from and then go back to the second fork and take the right path. It goes parallel to the left one, so we can bypass the bear bug this way. But I'm still going to fight it because I want the souls. But I will be using the right path, so I can go behind it and use the crisp blade to attack it. I don't want to waste any more time with MP breaks, and killing it with the crisp blade is only slightly slower than using spells. Okay, we're now behind the bear bug, so we can just start hacking away at it. I'll probably fast forward this part. Just remember that it will eventually manage to turn around, so we'll have to use the side tunnel to go behind it again. Actually, just for comparison's sake, let's try using the white sticky stuff to enchant our scimitar and see how much damage we're doing this way. Well, it's a bit better than the crisp blade. Oh, I think I forgot to explain what this item does. It's a consumable similar to the turpentine, but instead of fire, it enchants the right-hand weapon with magic. Good, the damage from the bleeding should be enough to finish it off, so let's put some distance between us. Just a bit more. There we go. Now we just wait for the explosion and then continue down the tunnel. There's not much more left in this level. We don't really have any more fights in this tunnel maze. We just need to collect a few items. Let's switch back to the catalyst. Like I said, we won't need it for a while, but I tend to forget which weapon I have currently equipped, so it's best to get it ready beforehand. We need to take the left path here. This is another dead end, but we can pick up another 5 Ogit of Guidance. And when we turn around, we'll see 2 paths before us. The right one is the one we came from, so we should take the left one. We'll see an item in front of us, but we can't reach it right now. We should continue left after we drop down. And on the next fork, we take the left path again. Actually, now that I think about it, we just need to keep taking the left path at every fork, after the first one where we had to go right for the itemized soul. Anyway, we just picked up the Dragon Longsword +1. It's a pretty good weapon, especially for our class, since it only requires 10 strength to wield and doesn't have stat scaling. To compensate for that, it does 91 physical and 91 fire damage. So if we ever want to use a melee weapon, after we leave World 2 of course, since most of the enemies here are resistant to fire damage, we should be using the Dragon Longsword. Okay, so we're now at the exit of the tunnel maze. We'll come back here in a bit, but using a different entrance. I decided to go ahead and kill this giant bear bug as well. We could have skipped it, but we do have plenty of MP, so why not get a few more souls? There is an item to the left of the bear bug. We can reach it if we stack some fire resistance, but it's just a chunk of dragonstone. Now let's wait for the explosion and finally get out of these tunnels. We'll exit in the same open area we were in when we met Patches, but obviously at the bottom, where there's a river of lava. There are plenty of bear bugs here, as well as a few items in the lava that you can only get if you stack some fire resistance. I'll probably kill a few of the bear bugs, but there are too many of them here. I don't want to take several MP breaks just to kill them all. Okay, so now we just need to follow this narrow path. We might as well kill the flying bear bugs closest to us, I guess. This one as well. I don't want to bother with these. Let's continue and go right into the first tunnel we come across. We're now back into that same tunnel network. Following this tunnel will lead us to that item we saw earlier but couldn't reach. It was just an itemized soul, but there's no reason not to pick it up. Let's go back to the lava river and continue following it. There is another giant bear bug in front of us, but there is barely enough room to squeeze past it. Now we can pick up another itemized soul from this corpse and enter this tunnel. At the crossroad, we can go left inside a room with a couple of crystal lizards, a stone of ephemeral eyes and a large bear bug. I don't have enough MP, so I won't be fighting it. In these narrow tunnels, the large bear bug is much more dangerous than the giant one. In the middle tunnel, we'll find another bear bug, as well as a chunk of clear stone. In order to continue through the level, we'll need to take the right tunnel. This tunnel is pretty long, but it will eventually lead us into a big shaft. This is where we would have ended up if we took the right tunnel at the beginning of the level. But if we did that, we would have missed most of it. We will still need to come back to this shaft in the future, since there are a few items we need to collect, as well as an NPC we need to meet in the upper levels. But we'll talk about that later. Right now, let's heal ourselves and drop down from this ledge. It looks a bit scary, but the drop is actually not that big. Once we hit the ground though, we'll have to be prepared for a rockworm ambush. Okay, it's really all about the timing of its attacks. You just need to find a cue that will help you with when you need to cast the spell. Now that we've killed all 3 of them, I want to go up this ladder and pick up an item. Just this one. There are a lot more if we continue going up, but as I said, we'll have to come back here later anyway. It's another itemized soul. We can now drop down from this platform and enter the tunnel. After we exit the tunnel, we'll see that this place is not a simple mine. There are giant skeletons here. But before we talk more about them, let's go collect the item over there. We'll get ambushed by some more rockworms, of course. Wow, I didn't know this attack could still hit us despite the rockworm dying immediately after it started. Okay, this was the last one. Let's go collect the item now. The Hands of God is a fist weapon that can be extremely powerful, provided you have the required stats. We don't and won't ever have them, so we'll never be using it. But this weapon is also very important for the story. Its description reads, a fist weapon bearing God's name. There was once a strong man who slaughtered dragons with his bare hands. His godlike fists earned him the title of the legendary Big M. These giant skeletons definitely look like they may have been dragons. Anyway, I'll talk more about this later. This is the boss fog gate, so let's have a mana break and then start the boss fight. Okay, we're ready. If you fight him normally, the Flamelurker can be a very difficult boss, especially as a mage. But as usual, we're not going to be fighting him normally. Immediately after we started the fight, we went right and entered that giant ribcage. We needed to do so in order to lure the Flamelurker in the correct position. We then run over here so that the spinal column stands between us. We can now use the same tactic as the one we used against the Red Eye Knight in World 1-1. And just fire soul arrows at him while he's trying to reach us. However, we should still be careful, since he has an AoE attack that can't hit us. Also, he may get unstuck and try to go around the spinal column. If that happens, we just need to do the same thing we did at the beginning, and he'll get stuck again. We've been extremely lucky so far. I can't believe he's still just running at us. Damn, he broke out of it at the last moment. Okay, he's back in the correct position. Perfect. And that's how you can easily kill the Flamelurker. Okay, let's talk a bit about him while I pick up a few items in the arena. The theory about his origin that I like most is that he is the demonified spirit of the legendary Big M. We found his weapons nearby, and the Flamelurker uses his fists exclusively when fighting. We also need to give his demon soul to blacksmith Ed if we want to start creating boss weapons and more advanced upgrades. And both Ed and Baldwin each drop a Hand of God when killed. So most likely the legendary Big M was a blacksmith who was fighting dragons, and Ed and Baldwin are either his descendants or apprentices. I will go ahead and return to the Nexus to store our items and repair. But let's go back to the lore. So, obviously, this Big M had died while fighting dragons. Otherwise, it wouldn't make much sense for his weapons to be amongst the skeletons. The Hands of God in possession of Ed and Baldwin may have been created by this Big M for their protection, or maybe as a memento. Or it's even possible that because the world has been fractured due to the effects of the colorless fog, there are multiple copies of some legendary items. Perhaps we'll find the answer to that question after we enter the final level in World 2. We'll do that in the next episode. We finished storing our items, and I'm just double checking if we haven't missed anything. No, it all looks fine. Let's switch back to our Thieves' Ring and go repair our stuff.
I can...
Really? Our armor wasn't damaged? Huh. I definitely took damage during the level, so I'm not sure why we didn't lose any durability. Anyway, let's go level up. We'll invest everything in magic again.
Touch the demon inside me. Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from its vessel. Let's
Nice, we got 6 more points in magic. I'll probably stop increasing our magic stat once we reach 50. More than that, won't improve our spells all that much, because of the diminishing returns. I think this is a good place to end the episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, please consider pressing the like button and subscribing to my channel. It will help me a lot and encourage me to bring more content for you guys. I'm releasing new videos daily, so hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow when we'll continue our journey through the world of Demon Souls.